right, my friends, I I confess. I went to bed with Barbara Boxer last night. I woke up with Hillary Clinton. Yes. Yes, my friends, I tuned into C-SPAN. I really tried to stay awake. I really tried, but this who's the real woman between Barbara Boxer and Hillary Clinton? I don't know. Well, let's leave that alone. I mean, gentlemen don't tell. But this political stunt last night, this all-nighter, the Senate sleepover, Harry's hoax, was nothing more than a fundraiser. You know, my friends, the only people in the world who can depend on Democrats are our enemies. It was, this thing was amazing. It went down to defeat, by the way, 52-47. Senate voted to block the Democrats' bid to pass an Iraq troop withdrawal amendment legislation. You know, we got news here today. There's a Zogby poll out. Voters unhappy with Bush and Congress. Bush's popularity is what it is, but Congress's numbers keep plummeting. They are lower, and this last night didn't help, folks. By the way, greetings and welcome. It's the Rush Limbaugh program. Here's the phone number if you want to be on the program today, 800-282-2882, and the email address rush@eibnet.com. The Congress numbers just keep plummeting here. 83% said Congress was doing a fair or poor job. Only 14% rated Congress excellent or good. 14%. You can talk about Bush all you want, but I mean, you know, I have to tell you, I think we need to start talking about Harry Reid as the most incompetent majority leader in modern history. He cannot deliver for his kooks. They talk about Bush being incompetent out there, folks, but Bush beats Reid and Pelosi and Murtha. Oh, he beats these people every damn time on this. Even with 4 Republican defectors, Hagel was one of them, Olympia Snowe, even with that, Bush beats these people on this every time they try it. Harry Reid's lost control of the Senate. He's in the majority. He cannot deliver for his kooks. In fact, he's losing votes every time they pull this. Every time they try one of these things, they get fewer votes. So maybe the thing we need to do is just continue to do all-nighters and expose these people as the incompetent libs that they are, while their poll numbers are driven into the dirt. He needs to get back. Harry Reid needs to change his focus, and he needs to get back to doing what he does best, and that's sleazy land deals with his kids. Time for him to go home to Searchlight, Nevada, wherever he lives, because he's in the big leagues now, but he can't seem to swing the bat. The bat just stays on his shoulder. And when he does swing, he misses. You know, if I'm a Democrat or liberal, I would demand new leadership. They can sit there all day long and complain and whine about Bush, but I'll tell you, Harry Reid is proving to be an embarrassment. All-nighter, 24 hours, could not even tire the Senate into voting for cloture. You know what I think the biggest debate was last night? I don't know how much you watch this, Mr. Snerdley. The biggest debate last night is I was amazed at how they fresh-faced they were after this all-nighter, and how fresh they looked and so forth. I think the biggest real debate last night was, all right, how do we appear here? Do we look like Jimmy Stewart in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, all drawn and haggard and unshaven, tie undone, collar array, in a state of disarray, or do we bring in the best makeup artists we can, the Beltway look, shaved, made up, hairsprayed, shirt ironed, and you can see if you watch this what won the night. McCain was powerful. We've got some audio sound bites coming up from him. It was really, you can say what you want about his presidential candidacy imploding, but he gave a floor speech yesterday that just took it to Dingy Harry, and it was really good. Kay Bailey Hutchison also very succinct. You know, brevity is the soul of wit. And I made a little note. Kay Bailey Hutchison said, "What are we doing here? None of these amendments can possibly be passed into law." So The Democrats are going to judge this one of two ways, because this was a fundraiser. This is if they really wanted to get this done, why don't they try their own nuclear option? Why don't they try to break this filibuster and say, you know what, this is too important, whatever the nuclear option was on filibustering judicial nominees. But they're not serious about this. This was a hoax. It was fundraising, and they, as I say, folks, it's crucial to remember that they keep losing votes each time they try this. Some more data from this latest Zogby poll, not just the information about how poorly Congress is doing. 14%, and last night didn't help, despite their dim views of government. Majorities of Americans remain upbeat about their personal finances and security. And nearly two-thirds are very or fairly confident their children will have a better life than they do. There's a lot of optimism out there, and yet we keep hearing about this angst and the guilt and the unsettledness that has supposedly swept over our population. In the national survey of just over 1,000 likely voters, 66% said the president had done only a fair or poor job as president, 34% ranking his performance as excellent or good. He is doing twice as well as Congress is in his approval numbers. Even at 34%, this is stunning. And I want to tell you people, if you think that the approval rating for Congress is down because they're not passing massive legislation and getting things done for America, if you think that the disapproval of Congress is related to the fact that they can't pass a bill to get us out of Iraq, you are missing the boat. I think it's great news. I love these low approval numbers for Congress and government overall. I think the immigration bill, as I told you, the way it shook out, that was a great illustration for people to actually see, people who are on the fence about all this, actually see the arrogance and conceit of big government and the inefficiency of bloated bureaucracies and organizations. And when I say the arrogance and conceit, I mean the literal unwillingness to listen to the desires of the American people expressed in a vast majority that crossed all kinds of lines of demarcation. The puzzling thing about the poll to me is Americans remain upbeat about their personal finances and security. Well, that has to be threats, terrorism, and this kind of thing. Two-thirds majorities, nearly two-thirds are confident their children will have a better life than they do. That's also interesting because it indicates that maybe the drive-by media's efforts to drive down public attitudes and moods about the economy is not being as successful as some people assume they had been. So there's reason for optimism out there because numbers of you are optimistic. Now, let's go to audio sound bites from last night. Here's Dingy Harry, yesterday afternoon, actually, as he starts off on this Harry's hoax, the all-nighter.
I'm speaking today for the American people. 67% of the American people think the surge has been a failure.
Really? Well, then how come you're having so damn much trouble getting us out of there? How come you lose votes each and every time you try this stunt? Make no mistake. This is nothing more than fundraising. It's nothing. And if their kooks ever figure that out, then it's going to really make them, because the kooks are going to figure out, and people driving this, the MoveOn.orgs, had candlelight vigils last. You know how many people were in the Senate watching this last night? 6. In the Senate gallery, there were 6 people. I mean, if this is something that 67% of the American people want to happen, us getting out of Iraq, it would be happening. The Democrats, though, and their kooks